Hello, just Jamie here. Thanks for checking out my latest emulation video. So before I start this video, I just want to say thanks for watching it, and thanks for all my subscribers, tuning in to watch my latest emulation videos. I do a range of different videos on my channel: music, tuition, obviously emulation, tuition, gameplay and modern games, so everything. So I need your support to upgrade the channel, as it were. I need new microphones, I need new backdrops, I can't keep going on using this. So I need a lot of stuff to enhance my channel to make it so much better. But anyway, check out links in my description and enjoy the video. Take care. So let's get on with this tutorial then. So today I am looking at Dolphin Emulator. So this particular tutorial is going to be dealing with the GameCube side of things for Dolphin, but as you might know, Dolphin also caters for the Wii. So things I'm going to teach you in this tutorial is firstly how to set it up. I'm going to show you how to import games or a game into the Dolphin library for you to play, and I'm going to show you how to set up your controller. And I'm also going to show you how to fix the settings so you're going to get better visuals. And finally, and the purpose for this video is how to add HD textures. So let's get on with this, and you are going to be absolutely astonished with the results. This tutorial is going to show you really cool stuff. So links in my description as always, and the first thing you're going to need to do is download the emulator itself, which you can find in the link, like I say. So let's download Dolphin. So Dolphin, as it says here, it's available for Mac and Linux as well, and I'm pretty sure there's also an Android version of this as well. So let's download the latest of Dolphin for Windows. So it's asking if you don't have a Visual C++ installed for Visual Studio, you do need to install this one. So just simply click on the link here and get that installed. For this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to download the 64-bit version. So again, if you're not sure what type of processor you're running, it could be a 32-bit or it could be a 64-bit. Check under your search. I'm using Windows 11, and just type in system information and you will find out which processor you're using. Okay, so I've downloaded Dolphin Emulator, and for this tutorial I'm going to simplify this, and I'm simply going to create a folder on my desktop. So new folder, and I'm going to just call this one Dolphin. Now before I go on, there's reasons why you'd choose to emulate such games. Something like the GameCube or the PS2, it was made in an era where you connect these old consoles to a modern day TV and you're going to lose a lot of the visuals, and you'll see our TV screens nowadays are being sold by scalpers on eBay claiming they're retro TVs, and they're charging an arm and a leg. So even if you bought yourself one of these old CRTVs, you're not going to get the experience and you're not going to get the visual quality over an emulator. So I collect GameCube, and I collect different games for different consoles, and I've got Mario Kart. So I play Mario Kart on my modern day TV. It looks appalling. So for those of you new to this, you'll be aware of what I'm saying once I've set this up, and you will be impressed by the results. So let's get back to this. Let's just drag this extracted folder into the new Dolphin folder I've created, and I'm going to open this and I'm going to extract it. So if you don't have WinRAR or 7-zip, download it and you just extract it. So this will bring out a load of different contents within that extracted folder. And there we go. So we can now get rid of this WinRAR archive. I'm going to just delete this. Next thing we're going to want to do is actually go into this folder, Dolphin. You've got lots of different things in here. For now, what we're going to do is just double left click. So once we opened up the application for Dolphin, this is what you're presented with. You don't need to mess around with BIOS files. Dolphin requires no BIOS files, so that's a bit of a bonus really. So it's asking us to double left click here to set up games directory. So in this case, I've got the ISO image I extracted from my disk onto my desktop. So for those not in the know, an ISO file is kind of like a computerized disk image, as it were. So if you've got several games from your collection, then you just create ISOs out of these, and there's different options you can use to create your ISOs from your real disks, but just Google that for tutorials. So I'm going to just double click to set my games directory. So if I double left click on this, what I need to do here is find my game, and like I say, in my case it is on my desktop. So And there we go. So we got ourselves Mario Kart Double Dash. And if I open this right now, it's going to show me the default settings, the video settings, and it's not going to look too good. So I'm not sure if the visual quality is going to come out in this, but so as of now, I can't even use my controller on this, it's not working, so really it's no use. So I'm going to just back out of this, and I'm just pressing escape to back out of that game. And I do want to stop the current emulation, so I'm just going to press yes for this one. And next thing we need to do then, let's just go and configure the controller first. So if we just find the controllers tab here at the top, just left click on that one. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, Dolphin will cater for Wii. And yes, you can play Wii games on your PC, and you can emulate the Wii remote and the nunchuck, but that's a different tutorial. For this one, we're focusing on GameCube. So first option here, you got 4 different ports like the hardware would support on the real thing. I'm going to just continue to configure port 1, which is player 1. So for this, I'm going to just go to standard controller, and I'm going to go to configure. Now under your device, make sure you have got your controller plugged in at this point. I'm using my PS3 controller as always, I love this thing. And so go to device, and in my case, this one's going to be displayed as Xbox 360 for Windows. So once you've selected your controller under device, your next part is going to be configuring the buttons. So you do what you've got to do on this configuration. If you've got a different controller to a PlayStation controller, then you might have less buttons or even more buttons. So for this one, and I'm using a PS3 controller, I'm going to just go to button A. I'm going to press circle on my PlayStation controller. And for B, I'm going to press X. For X, I'm going to press square. For Y, I'm going to press triangle. For Z, I'm going to press L2. For start, obviously, I'm going to be pressing the start button. And D-pad is pretty straightforward. We all know what a D-pad is, I'm sure, this day and age. So left, and we got a right. Okie doke. So next part is going to be the control stick. I'm going to use my left analog for this. Press on left, press up, down, left, right, okie dokes, and so on and so forth. So it's entirely up to you how you map this out, you pair it with your controller. I'm just doing this as a quick guide. Okay, and if your analog sticks, your control stick and your C stick don't work, then you can also go to the calibrate option, which I'll show here, and if you just move your analog stick around, it will match it and show that's actually working. So finish the collaboration there. And that's about it, configuring your controller. So if you want more than one player, then you obviously go back to the start of this and you go to port 2 and port 3 for player 3 and so on. So let's just make a save this. So I'm going to go to profile now, and I'm going to just simply call this GameCube. And I'm going to press save, and that's saved my settings for this controller. So from here, I'm going to just go to close. And I'm going to go to close again for controller setup settings. And let's try Mario Kart again. Now I've got a working controller. Okay, so my controller is now working. And great thing about Dolphin is that it creates a memory card for you, and you don't need to save states the manual way, it will do it for you. So let me just show you how this looks without being messed with through video settings. So particularly take a notice of the road before I add the textures. Okay, and again, to exit that, I'm just pressing escape on my keyboard, and I'm going to stop the emulation. So as you can appreciate, that looks really good by itself, but you can further boost this visually. So to do this, all you're going to do is go to the graphics tab at the top, just left click on that. Now I suggest you leave the backends as OpenGL. This is also offering this to you if you're unsure which backend to go for. Backend means what's going to support the visuals on it, so a backend could be your graphics card, but it's just saying OpenGL, so let's leave it on there. And for best results, I've always had OpenGL or Vulkan, but generally OpenGL is the best one to have. So next thing you're going to want to do is the aspect ratio, which speaks for itself. Traditionally, the GameCube games were released in the 4:3 box format. You can put this to 16:9 like the full screen. Things look stretched, so that's entirely up to you, but you can click on different options here if you want the traditional old school look or you have 16:9. I'm going to go for 16:9. Make sure VSync is on. So VSync, of course, is to eliminate screen tear. So always keep that one checked, and that's not going to be taking up much resource with your hardware you're using. And I've also checked start in full screen. So again, to exit full screen, as you know now, press escape and that will exit. Next part you want to be going to is enhancements, and this is where things are going to take the turn for the best. So if we go to internal resolution, we can go up to 5K here. So that's entirely up to you, and I can't do it on this tutorial running 4K whilst using this software I'm using for this video. It's going to kill my laptop. It shouldn't do, but it does. So for this, I'm going to just go to 3 times, which is 1080p, which is fine. But if your hardware can support it, and I recommend you at least have around 16GB of RAM and a really chunky graphics card GPU to really crank up those settings to get the best results. So yeah, I'm going to just go to 3 times native. And under anti-aliasing, again, that's really down to your hardware. You can look on the Dolphin website and you can see their requirements for getting the best settings. For this, I'm going to just go very basic, hence what I just said about making this video. So 2 times MSAA, and obviously the further up you go down to SSA times 8, that's going to be really taking a hit out of your hardware. So for this, I'm going to just select 2 times. So texture filtering, again, that relies on your hardware. So for this, I'm actually going to just go to 2 times anastrophic. The further up you go, like 16 times, that's going to really be taking a bite out of your hardware. So be aware of that. If you find you're going up and you're getting laggy performance, then that would be the reason why. It's mainly under the enhancements, that's where your hardware is hit most. So what I normally do to test these emulators I'll beef it up, I'll go right to the max, and then I'll work my way down. And that's a long process in itself, so good luck with you on that. So 2 times. Now you've also got a post-processing effect here, which is in essence a filter. So you can choose for your GameCube games to have that 16-bit look, which is Mega Drive Super Nintendo look. Some of you out there might be interested in that. It don't appeal to me, so I'm going to leave this one as off. So if you then go over to the Advanced tab, you've got different options here. For those of you testing for the first time, you're going to want to check Show FPS. Some of you it's going to like 60, some's going to like 120 FPS. So you can enable that to show you how much it's running at. So obviously that's frames per second, and the more frames per second, the better. So that's entirely up to you if you want to check this one. But for now, this is done. So let's test this now without adding the HD texture pack. So we double left click on Mario Kart. So I'm just going to go to standard game setup on this just for this tutorial. So if this is coming out on your end watching this, you'll see more of an improvement. You'll see just a better range of colours and sharpness. But like I say, if you've got a capable computer or laptop, then bump this up to 4K. I can do this myself, but not whilst filming this video, so like I say, just keep a look on that road, and this is one of the noticeable differences you're going to see when I add the texture pack, and you are going to be amazed. So let's exit by pressing the escape key. Okay, so for this next part, adding the texture pack, the link is in my description to download it for yourself. So let's just go ahead and download. So the link is going to take you to this website. Now, depending on the region of the world you're in, for example, I got an American copy of the Mario Kart game I had imported. I'm going to go to the NTSC and I'm going to download that through its mega website. Or if you're in Britain and you got a British copy of Mario Kart Double Dash, then you just download the PAL version. So you download through the link and you simply just download. And I'm going to press save. And here we go. So that's very quick. So next thing you're going to need to do with this texture pack is just simply open it up. And you'll find the folder. So this is saying GM4E01. Now this needs to match with the name on your game on the ISO. So if we go back to Dolphin, if we right click on the Mario Kart game, if I go to properties, and if I then go to info, game ID says GM4E01. Which is the same as what we got as the download of the texture pack, what we've just got. So it's all ready to go. So open up again this folder you just downloaded until you get to this part where you will have 7 folders inside. Okay, so let's just close this one down, what I've just gone into. And I'm going to close Dolphin down for this. Okay, so once you are back into where your emulator is installed, I'm going to find a folder, and this one is called User. I'm going to just left click on User, and there's a little folder here called Load. You go inside Load, and then once more we go into Textures. And this is where your HD textures for your game or games are going to be put into. So we then back out of here. And this is the one we just downloaded for Mario Kart. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just drag this folder, and you need to drag the folder which says GM4E01, and I'm going to just drag this into the user load textures folder. So this might take a little while, some of these texture packs are fairly big. Okay, so once that's installed, or rather that's just dragged into the user load textures folder, let's check this out. And there's one last thing we need to do to enable the textures. Just back out of here. And next thing we're going to want to do is obviously open up Dolphin again. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot you got to do to get this one working, but trust me, it's worth your while doing it if you love visuals and you love GameCube. So here we go, so we are back in here. Okay, so to enable HD textures, all we're going to do is go to graphics. And if we just go along to advanced, and make sure load custom textures is checked. And this is what's going to load your texture, so make sure that one's checked. And close out of here. Let's open Mario Kart Double Dash again. Let's see if this is showing us that road which I was mentioning. Now this might appear to be laggy for this video, which it is. Like I said, I've got a lot going on just here. So the point of this video is to show the road. Now if we check out the road, for example, now, and the textures around it, look at that. You can tell a difference, and it looks really good. So yeah, very laggy for this video since I'm recording at the same time, but there's a dramatic improvement in visuals, and you can notice this just by the road alone. So that's about it for this tutorial. So in this tutorial, I've showed you how to set up Dolphin. I've showed you how to add a game. I've showed you how to mess with your video settings. Showed you how to do a couple of other things. And I've also showed you how to add HD texture packs. So HD texture packs for GameCube games, they're a little bit scattered over the internet, but it's the same process. You need to match your game ID, which I showed you by right-clicking on your game icon. Just go to Properties, and if you check out which game code you've got, which is under Info, you just match this up with the HD texture pack download. Same process, you go into the folders, so that's it. Check out my other tutorials on emulation. I'm always uploading these videos. And next time, take care.